Hello everyone, my name is Jianyang Wu, and you can also call me Taylor. Today I'm going to show you a special thing, tidal energy, a clean and endless energy. Well, let's first look at the introduction. Tidal energy is a form of hydropower that converts energy obtained from tides into useful forms of power, and most of them are mainly electricity. Well, how does that work? Tidal energy is produced through the use of tidal energy generators. These large underwater turbines are placed in areas with high tidal movements and are designed to capture the kinetic motion of the ocean tides in order to produce electricity. Tidal power has great potential for future power and electricity generation because of the massive size of the oceans. Well, the tidal electricity generation works as the tide comes in and again when it goes out. The turbines are driven by the power of the sea in both directions. Well, let's watch a video on the YouTube that introduces what is tidal energy and how does it come from.
Despite the fact that the oceans cover 70% of the planet's surface, we've only begun to tap them directly as an energy source. But these marine powerhouses may one day unlock the door to clean, limitless energy. Hydroelectric power was the great renewable energy source of the 20th century, and it will continue to provide gigawatts of power. But with most of the world's rivers already dammed, the future of hydropower will come from the sea. Of the various technologies to capture the ocean's energy, a tidal barrage is the closest in design to traditional hydropower. The barrage is essentially a dam, collecting water from high tide until there's sufficient potential energy for power generation, then forcing the water through turbines when released during low tide. The world's largest and oldest tidal barrage, at Lorance, France, began producing power in 1966.
Well, because of the limitation of the time, well, I have to say sorry that we have to end the video here. And now let's look at the advantages of the tidal energy. First of all, it's a very predictable energy source. Ever since the beginning of time itself, the oceans have had tides. Massive amounts of water move in extremely predictable patterns. This makes it very easy to harness the energy that these tides can generate because we can predict their movements as far as years ahead. And second, it's an inexhaustible source of energy. There will be no shortage of tides anytime soon. They are controlled by the gravitational pull between the Earth, Sun, and Moon. This means that as long as the Earth is being orbited by the Moon, the tides will continue to be there producing energy. Third, it's very low cost to operate. Once the initial constructions costs are done, there are very few additional costs to keep the tidal energy plant up and running. Little maintenance is required, and minimal personnel as well. Well, it's also effective even at low speeds. Since water is much denser than air, the amount of movement needed to generate power is very low. It has been proven that the tidal energy can still be harnessed even if the water is only moving at 3 feet per second. Well, it also can last forever. Okay, maybe not literally forever, but a very long time. Tidal energy plants are very simple and made of durable and simple materials that can withstand the time very well. Last but not least, it's completely green. There are no carbon emissions from tidal energy plants, making it an energy source that doesn't negatively affect the global environment. But now let's look at the disadvantages of tidal energy. First of all, it affects on marine life. The biggest concern regarding tidal energy is the effect that the turbines and the plants will have on the marine life in the surrounding areas. The mounting of the turbines could greatly interrupt the habitats of marine life and also prevent the natural movements of species. Well, second, it has high construction costs. The cost of the tricky underwater construction and the expensive equipment necessary to build a tidal energy plant can add up very quickly. These costs are usually transferred onto the taxpayers. Well, third, the change in tidal movement. The exact locations and the intensity of the tides can vary uh, drastically. If the tides were to shift enough from the location of the energy plant, it could be rendered useless. Well, it also has difficulty on sea usage. The tidal plant could greatly impact the access of the sea. This could affect transportations of goods and other vessels that need to travel by the ocean. Last but not least, it has location limits. There are very few ocean shores that are suitable for the construction of a tidal energy plant. Has shown that only around 20 areas in the entire world would work to harness tidal energy. Well, those are the references I used in this presentation, and thank you for watching.